Hey, what's up folks? How's it going? This is Waj. Hope you guys are all doing well. So we got a chance to review pretty much all of the newest 400 series GPUs from AMD. We did a full review and comparison on the RX 480, 470, and now we can finally talk about the RX 460, which comes at a very affordable entry price where you have the power color version, which retails for around $120. What we're going to do is run through some of the specifications as well as the 1080p gaming performance of the RX 460 and see how it compares against the other current generation GPUs that are out there, and also to see how it just generally compares against GPUs that are coming more down in price, such as the GTX at 960, which is definitely going to drop down in price. And perhaps some of you guys are out there that are on a little bit of a budget and don't want to spend, over $150 on a graphics card. Perhaps the RX 460 is the best bet for you. So without any further ado, let's find out if the 460 is right for you. Now what you're looking at right now is the specification list of the new RX 400 series of GPUs, and you can see that the RX 460 lines up pretty nicely with the 470 and the 480. All three of these GPUs are obviously based out of the same central Polaris architecture. They're both using the 14 nanometer fabrication process. There's obviously a difference in terms of how many stream processors we have on the RX 460. We also have 14 compute units, which is less than half of what we have on the RX 470 and 480. In terms of the memory configuration, you can get either a 2GB or 4GB version with GDDR5 memory. We have the 2GB version over here, which is going to come at the lower end of the price spectrum. Now, in terms of GPU clock speed, obviously that's going to vary depending upon which version of the card you have. The power color card that we have over here is clocked around 1212 megahertz. Now, the memory clock speed is clocked around 7,000 megahertz, and it has a memory bandwidth about 128 bits. In terms of the connectivity options we have on the RX 460, it's looking actually pretty good. You have a full-size DisplayPort 1.4 connection, as well as a full-size HDMI 2.0B connection and a dual-link DVI. So that means you can actually hook this thing up to an HDR 4K monitor and have 60 hertz refresh rate. And even though this GPU isn't really designed for 4K gaming, you can certainly use it as a desktop PC graphics card for general work related applications, and obviously just general computing use at that full 4K resolution at 60 hertz refresh rate. Now, one of the big plus sides of the 14 nanometer Polaris architecture is that the power efficiency of the RX 460 is quite exceptional. Pretty much at full gaming load at 1080p, the GPU alone is only pulling about 76 watts, which is almost half of what's being expected out of the RX 480s and the 470s. So definitely pretty darn amazing power efficiency. You can really have a very small power supply and still use this GPU without any hiccups or anything like that, even at gaming loads. In addition to all that, the thermal dynamics is actually pretty good on this card as well, being so power efficient at full gaming load. You're only looking at maximum temperatures reaching up to 66 degrees Celsius, which is, again, very good and comparable to what we find on the other 400 series GPUs. Now, of course, that being said, let's actually take a look at some of the gaming performance results of this GPU, starting with some synthetic benchmarks. And we're going to compare this RX 460 to the 470, as well as the GTX 960, which is going to be very competitively priced with the new 1060 being available. We could compare it to the 1060, but we all know that that's definitely a faster GPU that comes in a completely different price bracket. So taking a look at the 3D Mark Firestrike, you're looking at about 5,500 points on our RX 460, which is certainly quite a lot lower than the 9,700 points that we get on the 470, and even the GTX 960 from the previous generation NVIDIA GPUs scores around 6,300 points. Time Spy, which is a DX12 benchmark, we get definitely a little bit more representative results, about 2,000 points on our 460. The 470 gets about 3,800 points, and the GTX 960 is still slightly faster at 2,500 points. Now, with that being said, let's actually take a look at some real-world gaming benchmarks and see how the RX 460 handles different gaming titles at fairly high detail settings at 1080p resolution. really on that, guys, that's really it. In most scenarios, the RX 460 is certainly going to be a lot slower in performance compared to the 470 and 480. They're much more higher end GPUs, especially when it comes to 1080p and quad HD gaming performance. For 1080p, the 460 is definitely capable. It's probably good enough for most casual gamers out there. And if you're going to lower down your detail settings, you are obviously going to get better overall FPS. Vulkan is definitely going to be an interesting aspect of the 460. If you took a look at our Doom comparison between just running the OpenGL versus Vulkan, the 460 definitely takes advantage of that new AMD platform, and hopefully we'll see more and more titles employing the Vulkan technology. But really on that, guys, that's really it. Check out the description down below for more detailed information about everything we talked about, and thank you so much for your continuing support. Without you guys, all this stuff wouldn't be possible. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll see you later. Take care.